Jesu fam tobie. Hello everybody and welcome to my today sharing. Today I'm gonna share about how to achieve our or my personal goal. So today the topic is in the form of question or as a question, what is your personal goal or what is my personal goal? So in this text, I'm gonna share about how to achieve our personal goal. What is that? It can be long term or a short term goal. So at the same time also, I want to practice English. I exercise my English lesson because we don't need to be perfect in order to make perfect our English. So I have to practice first in order to make it perfect. So don't wait for perfection in order to be perfect, but practice. Practice makes us perfect. Let's go. Yeah, what is your personal goal or what is my personal goal? You know, each one of us can have a personal goal. Every person can have a personal goal. It can be similar to others. Mine can be similar to others or different. Here, the question is addressed to each one of us. What is my personal goal? Before a while ago, I wrote this reflection and I share to each one of you. So in this, what is that? When I wrote this reflection, at the same time I share my mindset. I share my reflection to you, and at the same time I practice my English also. So let's go. What is my personal goal? My goal can be for short term or long term. In order to achieve a long-term goal, we need to work on a long, excuse me. Yeah, in order to achieve a long-term goal, we need to work on a short-term goal every day. My goal is to become, for example, you choose your goal. For example, my goal is to become holy. Can I achieve a holiness without working on it every day? Can I become holy without working on holiness every day? According to Saint Augustine, holiness is a lifelong process in union with God through love, charity, sustained by divine grace rather than human achievement. So he said, St. Augustine, holiness is a lifelong process. It is, for example, if you have a goal, it is your goal is, if it is for example, for long term, it is a lifelong process. You need effort, and at the same time, it should be sustained by divine grace. Because our human achievement, our human effort is limited. So we need to be sustained by divine grace. We need to lean on divine grace. Let's go, huh? According to St. Augustine, holiness is a lifelong process in union with God, love, charity. In union with God through love, charity, sustained by divine grace, rather than human achievement. It requires ongoing repentance, humility, and the ordering of one's desire to love God above all things, often described as a journey of the heart. If you have a goal, it should be your journey with it, journey with your goal. And you have to make God as above all things. You have to be sustained by divine grace, by God Himself, because God is above all things. Holiness requires both. If you have a goal, for example, if you want to achieve your goal, it requires both our effort and divine grace. You cannot work alone. You need to be sustained by divine grace. That's all. It is impossible to be holy in leaning only on our effort because our effort is limited. If, for example, you have a long-term goal, you have to work on short-term goal, and at the same time, you have to, it's not enough, it is impossible to achieve your goal in leaning only on our effort, because our effort is limited. So as to achieve our goal, work on it, focus on it every day, and believe in what you do when you are in process to achieve your goal. Believe in yourself. Estimate yourself when you are in process to achieve it. So it's not enough only to believe in God, but also you have to believe in yourself. Believe yourself that you can do it. You can achieve your goal by the help of God. Okay, let's continue. It should become our habit. Let us take this mindset or a reflection of Saint Jerome, the power of habit. The power of habit. Saint Jerome said, Saint Jerome often used the image of water wearing away a rock to illustrate how persistence and study can overcome even the most stubborn difficulties. He said, Saint Jerome often used the image of water wearing away a rock to illustrate how persistence and study can overcome even the most stubborn difficulties. In this reflection, in this sharing of Saint Jerome, according to his meditation point of view, that when we are persistent in the process to achieve our goal, we should watch the water. We should see the water, the image of water, wearing away a rock. The rock is stronger. The rock is very strong. But when the water passes every day on the rock, the rock can be illustrated. The rock can be, the shape of the rock can be changed. So the water can wear away a rock to illustrate how. So it means that we have to be persistent when we are in the process to achieve our goal. Be persistent on it every day. So Saint Jerome often used the image of water wearing away a rock to illustrate how persistence and study can overcome even the most stubborn difficulties. While the still water grates the rock, so the water, our effort can grate the rock. Our effort can grate the difficulties. While the still water grates the rock is a common way to summarize his thought, the thought of Saint Jerome. His actual writings use this analogy to describe the power of consistent habit. So our consistent, the habit, can overcome the difficulties. Jerome argued that just water gradually hollows out a stone not by force, but by constant dripping. Our character and knowledge are shaped by what we do repeatedly. So our character, according to Saint Jerome, our character can be shaped by what we do repeatedly. So the water does not create the rock by force, but by consistent or constant dripping on the rock. So it can change the shape of the rock, because the water passes every day, every time on the rock. So we don't need to We don't need to make a lot of effort to do something by force, but we need just to be consistent, or we need to be constant in what we are doing every day when we achieve our goal. Work on it. That is the key. Work on it with consistency. On the way to achieve our destination or our goal, we can encounter a lot of difficulties, of course, but the difficulties are not the barrier to aim at our goal. So the difficulties, even though we meet a lot of difficulties, the difficulties are not the barrier to achieve our goal. But the difficulty should be school, the school to each one of us. And when we meet difficulties, we should learn how to overcome them. Difficulties must be a school to each one of us. Difficulties must be a school for us. They help us to grow. The difficulties help us to grow. The difficulties help us to be stronger day by day. In order to achieve our goal, we have to be persistent. We have to be consistent. Our goal should become our habit. If, for example, your goal is holiness, if my goal is, for example, holiness, my habit should be in accordance to it. It means my habit should be in accordance to holiness. If you want to speak English well, speaking English should be your habit, and we need to be motivated. Practice makes us perfect. A lot of people want to speak English words perfectly, but they don't want to practice every day. We need to practice. We should not wait for perfection in order to be perfect, but just to work on perfection. If you, for example, your goal is to speak English, if you want to speak English perfectly, if you want to speak English like the native speakers, you have to practice with consistency. You have to be consistent, or you have to be constant on speaking English every day. If you don't practice, how can you how can you speak English perfectly? How can you speak English fluently? So that is the key. That's the key. You have to practice every day. Practice. You have to somehow exercise your tongue. You have to work on your goal. You cannot become a doctor, you cannot become a professor if you don't behave, if you don't have an habit as a doctor, as a professor. Thank you so much for listening to my sharing of today. Yesu fam tobi. So be motivated on your goal and work on your goal. Thank you. Bye.